He's a guy who's been playing at Philly for a while, and he's done a lot of. I love his hair. Flowing locks are very good, but he's a guy that's going to go to the echo of the whistle. He's going to run all over the place. He had a really good year this past year. I'm very excited for him to join us. Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think that with any running back, you always want to have more than as many as you can. You want a big stable. You want to have a guy that you can feed and make sure he gets a lot, but he's still a young player and he's still learning. And you want to be sure that you guys split it as much as you can. I think last year we had actually a lot of the places that I've been, there's always been kind of two guys because you always want to try to split the load as much as you can. But at the same time, he's a great player, so we're going to have to continually get it. But we'll just have to see how the whole thing goes. Well, it's going to be a new system to start off with them. It's going to be the outside zone. The protection schemes are all going to be a little bit different. I think Quinn, the sky's the limit for him right now. He's a guy who didn't play the whole season, kind of jumped in there towards the end and really like what he does. Also loved his it's getting crazy over there. But I still remember when he was coming out and he had the videos in the forest working out. And so I know he's working out hard right now. So I think that he's going to be a really good right guard for us. Oh, yeah. He's a big he can run off the ball. Very strong. Very excited for him. What was that? Sorry. Oh, yeah. No, we're not allowed to do any of that stuff. He mentioned he wanted to get the guys together and get to know them, and so it was one of those things. I knew he was going to reach out to everybody. Slowly but surely, we're kind of letting that get to him. It's one of those things. We're going to spend a lot of time together, and once he gets here in April, and so that's when we'll kind of start building the whole thing. We're kind of trying to get that to him as much as possible, but it's better being taught from me. So it's kind of like as much as we can kind of converse together. This is. Can you guys even hear me? Oh, okay. But are the other ones? I feel like my voice should try to be louder. Should I try to beat everybody? Yeah, we could play some. Yeah, anybody want to compete? Good. I haven't thought about it much. I'm telling you, Well, it's one of those things. I want it to come naturally. I don't want it to. I don't want to overplan it. It's just one of those things. I want to get up there and let the guys learn who I am. Yeah, I think it's so important to make sure he's comfortable in everything that he does. From the cadence to the way that you just call a play, I think is so important because, again, when you go out there and all 80,000 people are screaming at you, you want it to be natural. You want to be able to check at the line. You want to change your audibles. You want to switch from play to play. You want to do so many different things. And if he's thinking about that, he's not going to be playing fast. So for me, it's, we do so much of the same stuff. It's just about getting that language to be able to cross over. So the more that we can talk with each other, and once we all get together in April, we'll just kind of solidify all those things and make sure they're all on the same page. Yeah, it was very exciting. Did my cord go off? Or is that, God, it's just so crazy. I was very excited about it. I think he's a premier player, premier pass rusher. Very excited to see him in a 2-point stance as much as possible and come off the ball. He's a great dude. As I've gotten to know him, I'm really just excited about the man himself. Right. Did you think he was going to Dallas that day? You're talking about crazy that day was? I've learned in this profession, whether it's game day, whether it's now free agent signing, anything can happen, and it's not official until it's signed. No, that's a great. Did this go down? I don't know if everybody's muting. Hello. Hello. Hey, we're back. I can hear it. This is good. We're working through this, guys. A lot of. So I would say a lot of the stuff that Matt and I did when we first got there, I think has been a lot like it, and it's kind of that whole process of evaluation of what I want to do as a coach compared to what the quarterback wants. It's the same thing we did with Aaron. I mean, there was a lot of great meetings that we had between the three of us on what's the right thing to do, what's better for us, what's better for him. And so I think that going through that process with a veteran quarterback and Matt and watching that whole thing happen was awesome. And it's really going to help me through this because, once we get to those conversations, I assume they're going to be a lot alike, just like those ones we had prior to.
What's your approach with kind of in-game management stuff going forward on fourth down, when to go for two? Have you kind of figured out how you're going to do that in the moment?
Yeah, I'm going to definitely need somebody to kind of tone me back a little bit because I'm naturally an aggressive guy. I love to be able to call plays. I get bored standing on the sideline. That happened a couple times during the season. You're like, Aaron, myself, Matt, we're all like, let's get the ball. You just want the ball. You want to keep going. But obviously there's the right thing to do it. So you're going to want somebody to kind of be sure that you're doing the right thing in the right situation. And from an analytical standpoint, there's so many different ways to go from that. You've got the analytical data that's based off of the past years, and then now it's all changing because more people are starting to go for it. So originally it was funny. Everybody was like, oh, you got to go for it in all these situations. But at that time, the sample size was a little less. So I think that now we're seeing some great sample size as we move forward to realize that as aggressive as you want to be, you probably should hold back in certain situations. But it'll be a lot of the flow of the game. I think there's certain numbers that matter. And then at the end, it's just a guideline for how the game's going itself. At some point, we're going to get one. There's a guy that I know, and you know me, I like to always be a little bit different. So. Yeah, I definitely do. I think that anytime you're doing something completely new on game day, it's going to be something new. I mean, you don't know what you don't know when you first go into it. I'll tell you one thing, I'm very lucky to be with you, Jero and Dwayne, two guys that I love and respect, and so I'm very grateful that they're going to be the coordinators, and my communication with them is going to be great, and that's all you can ask for as a starting point, and then we'll see what happens. I've done both, and I think that there's good things about both of them. When you're upstairs, it's calm, it's quiet. You're able to focus on just the very basics of the game and where everybody is. The good part about being down on the sideline is you get to see the guys. You get to see how they are emotionally. You can see how you can help them. So that change is what's unique. As a play caller, you have to be calm. You have to be relaxed. You have to be sure you're getting the best play in for the quarterback at that moment for the whole offense. And but at the same time, you're going to get fired up at times. So I think that balance is the thing that you have to kind of negotiate down there. But again, upstairs, you don't get to feel how the other guys are doing. So they're both great. I mean, I think there are good things about both. But now I'm very excited to be on the sideline as the head coach doing it.
Nathaniel, speaking of balance, when you're thinking about roster construction, how do you manage the difference between the importance of having a quarterback versus how much you have to spend in terms of money and assets to give them?
In the end, it's about a quarterback. You can ask all these guys around here, you got to have a quarterback to have a chance. So whatever it takes to get a quarterback.
So there is no price too high.
I mean, I don't want to say that because that would be saying something very specific, but I don't think you can ever put a too high of a price on anybody that's great.
But just in looking at what Kansas City went through with Tyreek, I mean, they basically got priced out of the market for a great player. I mean, how much do you think about that?
You know, the numbers, I think, kind of, for me, I think get a little crazy because I don't have as much of the broad spectrum of it all from all the positions yet. But the only thing I know is that there are some guys that are game changers. You look at Javonte Adams, you look at Tyreek, all those guys, and some guys are game changers and make a big difference. I just know that the quarterback, he's the one that touches the ball every play.
What advice would you be giving your guys even on defense without Javonte when they go against team?
I'll tell you, I'm so excited to see him 2 times a year. I'm going to have a couple plans for him after being with him for 3 years. A couple things. I'll be talking with Ejiro quite a bit. But Devontae's a great man, and there's going to be a lot of talking going on in that game because that's my guy. And we know how to get under each other's skin, too, which is going to be really fun. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, this is one of the coolest divisions I've ever seen. I've been in football my whole life. And, I go back to when my dad was at Kansas City, thinking about how good that division was with Denver. I mean, those games were so huge. And, you go back to when you're younger and the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants and those teams and Washington Redskins. And, I think that we're one of the guys, this is one of those divisions that is hopefully going to go down in history as one of the best divisions in football. I mean, last year, the NFC West was phenomenal, and somebody came out as a Super Bowl winner there. So I think that, for me, I think it's great because you always want to test your team. You want your team to have to go through everything throughout the year, no matter what. You want them to play the best, work against the best, because once it gets down to crunch time, you want to know how the guys are going to respond. So I'm so excited about it. It's going to be really fun.
I know you've been busy settling in, but how surprised were you when you saw the Javonte trade, and what was your first thought going with your brother?
I mean, like I said, I don't know if it was necessarily surprised. You knew that was kind of up in the air. You didn't know what was going to happen. But, like I said, I'm excited to see him twice a year. I mean, him and MVS, both different opponents, both guys that have a lot of experience with, absolutely love, care about, and want to see them succeed, except when we play them. So I'm very excited for him and excited to see him.
Coach, before you're at Russell Wilson trade, did a lot of work on the top quarterbacks in the draft. Now that you're kind of not a player, are there a couple that you really like?
We had a great opportunity to meet those guys during the combine, and they all seem like really great young men. It's funny, like looking at all the young quarterbacks that have come out throughout the draft. It's amazing how, some have a lot different careers than you might have expected. So I think that for them, there's a lot of good attributes that they all have. I think we all will find out how they work. I'm glad that we've got Russell right now, and I really like those guys and really enjoyed talking with them. Hey, we'll see how they go.
One of those guys that you know really well is Hackett, Coach Billy. What does he?
Excuse me.
One of those guys you know really well is Hackett, Coach Billy.
Billy Turner? Billy's the best, man. I mean, he's such a great dude. I think that with him looking back at it, his experience through the flexibility, how he played and would jump from one position to the other was something that always blew me away. I would always talk to him about just how he approached it and how he works every day as a pro to be able to do something like that and play right tackle, left tackle, right guard. I mean, it's really unbelievable. And, just as a man as he is off the field is just just awesome. So I love him. I'm so excited to have him on our team. Oh, it's going to be it's one of those things, you always want a fullback. A fullback, the great thing about it is it cuts the defense in half and gives you an extra blocker so you can have angles come back for the offensive line. But again, that position's kind of been very fluid, I should say. There's a couple guys in the league that do it. We've got a guy, Beck. We're going to try him back there. We're going to see what he can do. And I think he's got a great chance to be able to help us out in that one. And it's exciting because when you do that, you can play out as a receiver. You can play in the fullback. As a fullback, you can play up as a tight end. So that gives you a lot of multiplicity. So you can do all kinds of different things. So, but again, we just want to be sure we got the best guys out there. And if Beck's one of those guys, he'll be able to help us at fullback. Yeah. So my initial reaction is you want to be balanced all the time. You want to run and you want to pass the ball efficiently, equally on first and second down. So first and second down, that's where you want that balance. Obviously, third down, red zone, those are different situations, 2 minutes and so forth. But on first and second down, you want to be balanced. And really, it's so that you can do the play pass. The play pass are where you get the larger protections, protect the quarterback, take the shots down the field. But we all know that in certain situations, sometimes it's better to attack somebody with more runs or more passes. So really that kind of changes throughout the year and who you're going against. Initially, you always want to try to keep a balance between those two on first and second down.
Can there be advantages on early downs when the defense might have a nose tackle or either base to kind of throw on the first and second?
Oh, without a doubt. There are times that certain teams will put specific packages in. And maybe they're lighter or maybe they're bigger versus our lighter or bigger groupings. And that's when you want to go. You want to catch them in one of those things and take advantage. Even this past year, they were lighter, we were bigger, and we were running the ball a lot. So I think it just depends on what they do, and you want to attack by personnel how you can.
You mentioned play action. I've heard coaches with different philosophies, whether you need to run the ball to set up play action or whether play action works regardless.
That's a great one. It's funny. You want to say that you need to do that exact run out of that exact formation and make it look that way all the time. I don't know. I mean, they're still taught the same rules on defense that you have to react a certain way. I mean, I remember when I was playing defense, it was the same type of deal. You might not see something, but you don't know if they're not going to do it at that moment. So I think you can do it. I think it's going to be even better if you showed that run a couple times. But yeah, I mean, you can still kind of just dial it up and do anything. Yeah, he's going to be one of those kind of, move tight ends. So he's going to be kind of more of a receiver right now. We want to train him in blocking so he can be right there next to Tomlinson. So he's going to be a guy that we're going to slowly develop, and very excited to see him work. I remember watching the tape. I remember the one he caught a short pass and just took off for a touchdown. I think it was like a 70-yarder or something like that. It was pretty impressive. So excited to get the ball in his hands. Well, once he gets here, that'll be in April. So that's when we'll be able to talk football. So up to this point, he's part of the team. And then we talk, just getting to know each other. I think that this game's very, very important for relationships. And just ours, especially because it's such a high-pressure situation, getting to know each other, understanding how he works, how I work. We want to be sure that the two of us are on the same page. And so I think that right now it's just about relationships. And then as we get to that April 11th mark, now we can start diving into the system as much as we can. I'll tell you, George has been awesome. I mean, I think the starting point for us is just getting to know each other, just like Russell and myself. Understanding the different things that we look for as a coach and for the system. So the different attributes for each guy. As he sees that, that's when he kind of starts identifying it. Right now, because of the staff and how we've done, I haven't done as much for the draft. It's one of those things, as we get closer to it in our evaluations, that's when I'll start doing more, and just talking with George a lot, watching the tape, evaluating with them, and communicating. I think that's the great thing about being with George up to this point is, he's an open book. He talks about what he thinks, what he wants, and then I kind of tell him how it'll look and fit into the system. So it's been really great, and we just got to keep that up even through the draft. Yep, and he'll cluster them up and organize them and stuff, and then all of a sudden I'll go look at all those guys together and just try to give it. It's more me kind of working. I want to work for him and give him all the knowledge that he needs.
How have you gotten to know about Russell so far?
He's a great man. I've really just all the different things that he does. Like at first you hear about all the different things that he does and off the field, and then just slowly trying to understand those and see how he's able to do those while doing football. It's been great to meet him, his wife, his kids, all those things. I mean, that was amazing. So just kind of get to know him.
Did you know him much at all before any of this?
No, not really. No, we had crossed paths. We had played each other a couple times, so we knew it from that standpoint, but no. Well, I mean, anytime you watch him just come off the edge with that speed and power, you want that. I mean, he can get to the quarterback, and this game's about the quarterback playing good and the quarterback being effective. So I think that for us, it's just, in general, we wanted a pass rusher. We wanted somebody that was going to be opposite Chubb and be able to make a difference, and that's what he's going to do. And gotten to know him, like trying to get to know all the guys without them in the building. And he's been a great guy. Got to meet his wife and his child, and very, very excited to so excited to get to know them. I mean, he could be another dominant guy. I mean, we all know he was rolling early. I remember when we played in 2019. I mean, we were real nervous about him. I mean, he was rolling, and so I think that for him, it's get out on the field and be able to be available and whip. I was going to say some bad words right there, but get after the quarterback as much as you can. That's simple.
Justin Allen was a guy that's kind of had a pretty rapid rise. Why was he the right guy to kind of be your right hand man?
Oh, what a great man! I mean, I think that. As he has developed as a coach, it's been great to watch him just up in front of the group, how he presents, how he talks, how he handles the players, how he talks to the players. I think it's been great to watch him, just from that first year being a first-year tight end coach. How his relationship with Mercedes, Bobby, the whole group, and then Jimmy Graham, all those guys, and then just how he's evolved, and then. You watch it kind of cross over to other positions too naturally. I think that's when you can see the good sign of offensive coordinators, when you can coach your own position and you naturally are able to talk and communicate with other positions.
He's a guy that you've been around a lot. Was he on your list last year when you interviewed for Atlanta?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, we were really lucky because we had on our staff, at Green Bay, we had a lot of guys that after I had been there with them, I knew they could be coordinators in the NFL. And it's pretty crazy to think all the first-time coaches we had in 3 years, they're all, 3 of them are coordinators now, which is, two are coordinators, right? 3, yeah, because of Luke, too.
What was the process like for that with Matt? I mean, I know you're really close with him, and that's his did you guys talk much?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How'd that go with you?
The new rule about being able to, you can submit and you can take a coordinator for that role. Matt was absolutely amazing and did so much for me, and I'm so grateful for him those past 3 years that I just wanted to be sure that everything was done the right way. And Matt and I just had to stay in communication because I didn't want to take a bunch of guys. I wanted to be sure that I did it the right way with Matt and that Matt was able to continue his role there at Green Bay. And, I mean, we didn't realize that so many people were going to leave, but it's one of those things. I just wanted to be sure that everything was good with Matt, so I talked with him throughout the whole process.
So you said you do it the right way. What does that mean?
Well, anything that I was thinking or anything that I wanted to do, I just made sure I communicated it to him. I think everything's about communication, and instead of just going and trying to close the door and get as many people as you possibly could, it was just about talking with him, letting him know, asking his opinion, asking him what he's going to do, and just make sure he was able to work through everything as much as I was.
He was stuck with pretty hard before he got hired, obviously.
What was that?
He was stuck with pretty hard before
Yes.
he got hired, obviously. Those communications, that you go the interview process before you're hired, you think about bringing this together.
Yeah, I think we wanted to be on the same page as much as we possibly could. And so for me, I wanted to be sure that he kind of made his decisions that he had to make. And so we just talked. I mean, we're together all the time. I mean, when you're in there all those days, and we had the bye week beforehand and stuff like that. So we've just constant communication.
Coach Haley, you guys obviously made a big move to get a lot of quarterback and two after quarterbacks. What's something that led to something?
Well, first and foremost, it is awkward being between Houston and Cleveland right now. Because that did get a little weird. No, I just think in the end, if you want a chance to win the Super Bowl, you got to have a good quarterback. And so I think that if there's one out there that you can go get, or you have a chance to get that person, I mean, you got to do everything you can to get one. So I think that there were some that might have been were available, and that's why some people went after it.
What do you think the points of that Buffalo Kansas City game also was like? Showcasing two guys at the top.
That was an awesome game. I mean, but again, that's the perfect example of it. I mean, I remember we did a study on Pro Bowl players on a team, and it all kind of depended on the play of the quarterback. The better the play of the quarterback, the more Pro Bowl players you had. So I think it just kind of goes hand in hand in everything that you do, and watching that game just kind of clarified it even more. Oh, I love them. Love them. The number one thing I would say is you want to play a defense that you don't go against every day. So, we're going against the Denver Broncos defense, and it's a specific defense you're going to see, and that it sucks after a while. Like, I'm not going to lie. You go through all OTAs, and it's great because you get to see the competition. Everybody gets to work. But you want to see a different front structure. You want to see different coverage contours. And the more that you can get that, the better. And then you add in that mindset that, you've got 2 days that you can practice hard with the starters. And then it makes it so the preseason game, you can let those other guys get some play time there. And you can be in a controlled environment. So I personally have always loved it. I love seeing the other coaches. I love seeing the other defenses and everything like that. What was that? It's all going to be based off of just who our first opponent is. I haven't heard that yet. A bunch of the coaches and I, we've been trying to kind of get it all to work out, but just with the home, away, home, all that kind of stuff, trying to find out who those people are, it's been a little difficult.
On the muscle training, there's not a lot of training in the NFL that have players on both sides. Why do you think that is so much common player-for-player trades?
Player for player, so you mean from the... I know that there's a lot of formulas and monetary values and all those things that I haven't looked at, so I think that's kind of where it starts. Hey, what the worth is when it comes to the draft, the capital, the draft. They've got the draft charts on how much each pick is worth. So I just think every single situation is so different. Some people value certain people more than others, and so it's just kind of a puzzle trying to put it all together. Holy cow. Wow. When all of a sudden, I think the first one that hit was the Jacksonville one, when he went there with the 20-plus million. I think, everything, I still remember I was at Buffalo, and there was a guard that I was really excited about. I remember the guard ended up going for X amount of money, and we're like, oh, my God, you're going to play a guard that much money? And I just think that's how the NFL works. All of a sudden, one position or huge things start blowing up, and your guys are getting paid more than you might have thought. But, hey, in the end, we'll look 5 years down the road, and we'll probably say that was cheap. So, it's just how the game's working. It's a popular game. Money's into it, and all the contracts are going to change every day.
Do you think that there's something to be said about how the game is being played? The wide receivers are getting more money?
I think everybody's got different philosophies. I think in the end, it's about a good player, whether it's a wide receiver, whether it's a running back, whether it's a quarterback, whether it's a tight end. You get a good player, you have a good player that you like, you're gonna pay him. It's like when you're going to house shopping. It's like going house shopping. It's like it just takes one person to like the house, and then they're gonna outbid everybody. So I think it just depends on the situation. Right now you're looking at some of these players. Tyreek, Javonte, I look at those two. I don't care who everybody's going to want. They're the best. They're phenomenal. They're two of the best players at that position right now. Got so much respect for both those guys, so they're going to get paid. Who's that? George. It's been great. We've had a lot of fun together. Great conversations. We've been talking a lot about communication. And I think that as long as you can keep that communication up, that's where it's all going to be great. And that's all I could ask for. I was just so happy once I got here. You talk a lot, you have a lot of interviews, and I went through a heck of an interview process. And there was a lot of good communication during them, but you just didn't want that to stop. So I think that up to this point, it's been continually almost over-communicated. Just keep talking, and that's going to give you a chance to win. I think when I first got the job, starting to learn and watch how people. Yes. Oh, is this working? Is it still working? Okay. So many things going on. I hear so many, just wild. I think that when I first got the job, there were so many kind of different things we were discussing, whether it be players, trades, everything, just kind of going through all the different scenarios. You try to just prepare yourself just like a game day. You call a play, what are you going to see? How are you going to react to everything? So I think as that came up, didn't know how real it was going to be. Didn't know it was real until he signed the document, and showed up. So you just kind of prepared for everything, and we're really excited that he was even in the conversation.
Coach, now that you've been off this quarterback draft class, what's your take on the class, especially at the top?
Oh, I think they're going to be really good. I mean, I know that there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to get drafted and have opportunities. I always hope that a young guy can always have some time to get trained before he's thrown out there to the wildness. The longer they can wait, the better. Just so that they can learn and get prepared and get more tools to be able to help them as they move forward. Because there's so many things, especially going from the college game. I think they're all good guys. They've got great attributes. But once you get out in this game, I mean, it's different. You know, the speed, the different protection stuff, the different pressures you're going to see. I mean, there's so many different things that I think they're going to be a good class. But I definitely hope that they get some time to be able to acclimate. Hey, it's about winning every day. You know, you want to win each day when you wake up in the morning and just get better. And it's about a process. You know, you can't just say, hey, you're a contender. I mean, we got a lot to earn. I mean, this organization hasn't been in the playoffs in a while. So I think it's just about winning every single day. And as long as you do that, you're going to get better and you got a chance.
Coach, you done the interview process. They interviewed you. I was wondering if you asked some questions specifically about the ownership situation. And what did they tell you? What did Joe tell you? And has he kept you updated on the situation?
Yeah, you know, I would say that after they got done with their interview, I interviewed them a lot. I had a lot of questions about a lot of things. Definitely the ownership was one. But that's just something, again, that I can't control. And I know that we're going to be in great hands. Joe Ellis is an awesome man as I've gotten to know him. And I know that he's going to, whatever the transition is, however that works out, you know, I think it's going to be great. And for me, heck, we got to keep winning. So one way or the other, we got to win football games, no matter who owns the team. But you know, they keep me up to date as much as they can. There's so much work to be done. I think if there's something, you know, very important, they let me know. Like the stadium's on fire, they'll let me know. Things like that. But besides that, they just want me to keep focusing on football. One more time? No.
How much do you Dom Capers for advice?
I'll tell you, Dom is awesome. I mean, to be able to, it's like the godfather of football. You know, I mean, the guy that invented the zone blitz or was there when it was happening. So between him and my father, the amount of football knowledge that's at our fingertips is unbelievable. But it's great. It's just great to see him there, especially watch his relationship with Ejiro. I mean, it's really great to see how those guys work together. But I'll lean on him a bunch. He comes in with all of his, he's got his big notebooks from way back in the day when he was a head coach that I get to look through and see, because I've gone away from the playbooks. We're a lot more iPad and more electronic. But no, it's great to have him there. There's so much knowledge right there. I mean, it depends. I mean, I don't necessarily think it's that position. I think it's that player. Those guys that are making those contracts, I mean, they're phenomenal people, phenomenal football players. So I think when you get a good football player, I mean, you're going to try to do whatever you can to get them on your team, and you're going to have to pay them.
We'll do the last one, Jeremy.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. You know, I've watched their tape from last year. And it's going to be great to see them be implemented into our system and how they're going to fit both at all the different positions. We want to move guys around as much as possible. We want to have them play all over the field. We don't want to put guys just in one spot. So as they can slowly develop and learn the system, it'll be great to see all the things they can do.
How much fun is it watching most of the grow together right now?
Oh, gosh. You know, same deal. You know, those guys are down there and getting to know each other, and I just can't wait till they get in the building.
Thank you very much, Coach.
All right, y'all.